Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today we're going to continue on data analysis. Therefore, today we're going to recap back on countif, sumif, if, nested if, and then vlookup and hlookup. Okay. For today, we're going to first cover on vlookup and hlookup. When we look at the word vlookup and hlookup, V is stand for vertical, whereas H is stand for horizontal. Okay, now I'm going to show you later on what it means by horizontal and vertical. When you look here at the pay rate, you're going to find the pay rate based on the pay code here. And then when you look here, this is called referencing table. There are actually two types of referencing table in this spreadsheet, which are this one, where the data is vertically presented, and another one is this, where the table is horizontally presented. It is exactly the same, but why I give you these two so that you will be able to identify, to differentiate between vlookup and hlookup. So the first one, we're going to use the vlookup. For the vlookup, since you want to find the pay rate based on the pay code here, when you look at the pay rate, you look at the table here, B2, the pay rate is supposed to be 9, but you don't have to manually type in. Instead, you just simply use vlookup. You're looking for the number, you're going to look for the data. Equal vlookup. Why I choose vlookup is because the table here is vertically presented. It is vertical. Okay? Open the bracket, and then lookup value is the value that you're going to look, which is, for this case, it is C4, B2. Okay, and followed by comma, and then the table array. Table array is your table referencing, where you're going to find your data. For this case, the data is going to be this one, but you don't have to specifically choose this and this, although you don't need this, but it doesn't matter. Okay, and then followed by comma, column index number. Column index number is which are you going to show. Since for this case they're going to the question asks you to show the pay rate, so column, to identify what is the column number, this is column number 1, this is column number 2, column number 3, column number 4. Okay, so since you want to show pay rate, it is going to be column number 1, 2, 3. It is going to be number 3, and then followed by comma. Always choose false. Okay, so I'm going to repeat back. This one, C4, is actually the lookup value, the code that you're going to look at, and then this one, table referencing, is where you can find those data. For example, you're looking for the pay rate, where can you find the pay rate? And then 3 is the column number 1, column number 2, number 3, and number 4. So since you want to show the pay rate, it is column number 3. Why you use vlookup is because it is vertically presented. Okay, you understand? And then you click enter and show you number 9. Number 9 is supposed to be 9, and then after that pay code is supposed to be B2, and the answer is 9. Okay, now we're going to talk about hlookup. When we're talking about hlookup, let's say, for example, the table is given like this. Okay, although it is almost the same, it is exactly the same, but the way it presents is different. It is horizontally presented. Okay, when it is horizontally presented, what you're going to do, you're going to use hlookup. You do the same thing, followed by open bracket, and then since hlookup value is this one, so you're going to click this, the lookup value that you're going to look at, and then after that followed by comma, and then you do the same thing, table array. For the table array, you're going to highlight all of this. Okay, you highlight all of this, and then after followed by comma, and then you're going to show period. So it is just the same. This is column row number 1, row number 2, row number 3, and row number 4. So if you want to show the period, it is going to be row number 3, which is you type in number 3, and then after that you type in false, and then you click enter. So you look back the answer. F1, it is F1, and then the pay rate is supposed to be 7.5. If you remember before that, I actually show you on how to copy and paste the data, the formula. But for this case, if you just simply copy and paste this, when you look here, you see they give you an A. Okay, it is because once you drag, since the table array is appended, when you drag here C6, it is follow, it's going down, but the table is going down as well. You see it is somewhere here. Then let's say for example another one, you drag, yes, it is going down, but it is okay because you want it to be synchronized, but you want the table to be exactly the same at the same area, not this one area. Okay, so what you're going to do that, you're going to use absolute cell reference to lock. When you are to do absolute cell reference, since you only want this table to be at the same place, but for the lookup value you want it to be appended as you go down, so what you're going to do, you just lock. When you are lock, you're using absolute cell reference, which is using $sign for each row and column heading. Okay, so just give $sign to each rows and column, and then you click enter, and then when you drag down, it will be remain at the same area. You see, it is still at the same area. It is still at the same area. Okay, that is the function of absolute cell reference. Okay, now we're going to use a nested if. Nested if is actually where you if the condition are more than 2. Okay, usually you have a condition like yes or no only. So now example overtime, based on the statement at the bottom here, the overtime, if hours work greater than contract hours, it will show you yes, whereas if hours work is equal to contract hours, they will show you no, and then after that the rest is going to be incomplete. So this is hours work and this is contract hours. Okay, now when you are going to do a nested if, you're going to type in as usual equal if open bracket. Okay, if you see hours work, for this case, this one, hours work is greater than, this is the symbol for greater than, contract hours, you're going to show, after you give the condition, you're going to type in comma. And then since you want to show the word, the text yes, you're going to use double quote, yes. Okay, you're going to show yes. And comma, since there are two more condition, so you type in another one, if open bracket, okay, hours work, you do the same thing, hours work type is equal to contract hours, you're going to show no. And then the last one, comma, the last one, you don't have to bother on the condition, you just simply type in incomplete. Okay, and then since there are two if and two open bracket, you're going to give two close bracket, so that this is for one and this is for another one. And then you click, sorry, I forgot to do. Okay, so when you want to copy, as usual, you just simply drag. Okay, when you look here, the text is actually insufficient. You need more space, so you can just resize. You can just double click. Just make sure when you are to double click, let's say for example the size is this, and then after that you go to the very top and then make sure your cursor change to this shape, and then you double click to adjust the column automatically. Okay, so now you're going to find, let's say for example, overtime entitlement. Let's say for example you want to find how many people who got overtime, who got null, and who got incomplete. So when you are to count how many data are there, you're going to use countif. Okay, when you are to use countif, you just simply type in, just remember, equal countif, open bracket, okay, range is actually where can you find the word yes. When you look here, it is going to be here, somewhere here. You don't have to manually count one by one. And followed by comma, the criteria is, since you want to find yes, it's either be you click here, okay, because the word yes is exactly the same. You can just choose the cell and then you click close. Okay, there are 6. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Or another one is equal countif. You don't decide to add something. The table is going to be this one, the range, and then just now I'm choosing the cell because it contains yes. Or another one you can use, can just simply type in the criteria. You can choose either one. If the cell is exactly the same as this, the same as in the range, you can just simply choose the cell. If it is not, you need to type in manually, just like what I did just now. After close bracket, you click enter. Okay, then you do the same thing for this. You want to find how many incomplete overtime. So equal count if, open bracket, and then range, and then comma. You can choose either one. Let's say for example for this one, incomplete exactly the same, so you can just choose this. So after you close and then you click enter. Okay, do you understand? And then total payment for overtime. So here what it means that, let's say for example you want to count how many payment do they require only for those who got overtime. This is the payment. Okay, now supposed to be the overtime is this one. It is supposed to be yes, entitlement is yes. So you're going to sum up. For this case you're going to count, but this case you're going to total up the value. So when you are to total up the value, you're going to use sumif. So here what it means that equal sumif, open bracket, and then the range is where can you find the word yes or no. So here it is going to be this one, followed by comma, criteria, since you want to find only those who got overtime, so you just type in yes. Okay, because it means that overtime entitlement, if it is yes, then they got overtime. And then after that, comma, sum range is actually the data which you're going to sum up. For this case, the data is going to be this one. Okay, and then close bracket, new, click enter. So altogether is this one. Okay, just to recap with you on how to format the data. When you have to format the data, let's say for example this one, this is actually about the currency. So you just simply right click format. After you click format, and then you choose number, it's either you choose currency, and then 2 decimal places. It depends on what currency that you're going to use. It depends on the question. And after that you click OK. You do the same thing for this one. Okay, right click, format cell, and then after that currency, click OK. Now total, this is easy. Total, we're going to use equal sum, open bracket, going to sum up this. Okay, so far do you understand? Okay, so that's all for today.